Hello, SICW wrestling fans, and welcome to another SICW Sunday night of All-Star Wrestling. I'm here with promoter Herb Simmons, and Herb, it's time for some more Melee on the Midway.
Well, and I'm so excited about that. We are just glad that the Melee on the Midway went off as well as it did. In fact, Brian, it went off so well. I'm actually in negotiations with the track representatives that you're going to see SICW back there hopefully in the month of August and September.
Oh, Herb, some big racing events coming up there in August and September.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Evidently, they put out a survey, and a lot of the racing fans and the wrestling fans was there, talked about all the good things that took place during the Melee on the Midway, and wrestling was one of it. So I'm excited about that, and you as wrestling fans ought to be excited about that too, because if you were there, you know what I'm talking about. It was great. Even throughout the rain, the wrestling and racing fans stayed and watched it.
Absolutely. It was a great day of SICW wrestling. We've seen some of the great matches. Tonight we're going to see some more, and I'm excited to hear that there might be a little future of SICW out there with Worldwide Technology Raceway.
I think it's going to be great. So you stay tuned here each and every Sunday night. We're going to have a lot more updates as the weeks come around.
Well, Herb, without further ado, let's take a look at a first match from back at the Melee on the Midway tonight. We're going to look at a tag team match. It was the Professionals taking on Joe Vanetti versus Billy McNeil, and there was a little outside interference, and we'll call it Mother Nature.
There you go. Let's take a look at this. Hello, wrestling fans, and as we said, we are at the Melee on the Midway at the Worldwide Raceway Technology. You've heard us talk about it, and here's some of the action coming to you. This is a great tag match that took place that afternoon. We were really so proud to be there with the racing fans. Here you're seeing the popular Billy McNeil and Joey Vernetti as they team up against the Professionals. As you've heard me say many, many times, the Professionals, probably one of the most legit tag teams in the Midwest. I mean, these guys, I think they think alike. I know they work alike. They know how each other handle themselves in the ring, and that's what makes them such a professionals. And here you see in the ring Joey Vernetti, a graduate of the Ace Wrestling Academy, starting this battle off against Marlon McDarby. As you see, Vernetti working on that arm, but there the Professional says, oh, wait a minute, I don't like this, so I'm going to stick my leg over that bottom rope, and referee Bill Henson will have to break it up. Now they hook up, and the referee's holding. Oh, a nice arm drag by Marlon McDarby. Not only can they be tough and rough, they can wrestle. Once again, they hook up. Oh, and now it's Joey Vernetti said, hey, look what I was taught by the Ace Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. What a day this was at the Raceway. Racing fans came out by the droves, mixed in with the great SICW wrestling fans. And man, I'll tell you, up and over goes Vanetti. And oh, he's waiting for him, and he catches him, and now he holds on to that arm. I'm not sure that's exactly what Marlon McDarby was wanting to come up with there. But again, the Raceway, what a jam-packed crowd they had, not just for the wrestling, but for the races, for the car show they had going on. It was 2 full days of entertainment. If you wanted to see wrestling, they had the best there, SICW. If you wanted to see the racing, NASCAR was there. As they hook up there now, Billy McNeil coming in. Always the favorite, Billy McNeil. And now, there you go. Now you see Sean Santel doing the same thing McDarby did when he was in there. They'll take the shortcuts if they can. Cause the referee to break it up. They hook up. And there you see a nice arm drag by Billy McNeil. So it looks like Billy McNeil and Joey Vernetti are going to work good. Usually it's Joey Vernetti, one half of the popular Top Guns. His partner Brandon Beretta couldn't make the show from another engagement that he had. But Joey Vernetti said, I'll be there. I'm not going to miss the Melee on the Midway. A nice fireman's carry finds the Professional on the canvas. As you can just see, this was a show where the crowd just continued to come. They may be down at the other end of the midway, but once they heard the announcements going on, they said, oh, let's go down and check out the wrestling. Now, Santel knocked Billy McNeil off the rope. The referee, Bill Henson, now telling Billy, nope, stay out till you get tagged. Vanetti still working on that arm. Now the tag is made, and Billy goes up, comes off of that middle rope. Whoa, and he just barely got him in the back of the head. Vanetti got out of there. Now a real quick tag. Joey Vanetti now a little double teaming by Vanetti and McNeil. Referee Bill Henson telling him, come on, one of you's got to get out of the ring. A nice headlock and a hip toss, and now Vanetti comes in with the leg drop, but only a count of one. Boy, action fast and furious, and the crowd loved it. We were so honored to be part of the worldwide raceway, technology raceway, having us there, and you heard us talk about it a little while ago, that hopefully next week, if you tune in, we'll have some more information on the possibility of SICW returning later this year to the raceway for a couple more big races they have coming up. Oh, and there you see the professionals working good together. Oh, quick tags, and now it's Sean Santel comes in, drops the knee, and now begins blatantly choking him. Referee telling him, come on, get off the man's throat. Another quick tag, in comes McDarby. A front mare by Sean Santel before he gets out of there, and now McDarby planting that knee into the middle between the shoulder blades. Oh, and now you can see the rain starts to come, and that's what made this so interesting. Some of the fans said, well, let's just hang around and see what it is. Some of them said, oh, let's go get underneath the canopy. But the wrestling continued. You see the rain falling, and wow, right to the back, another quick tag. It didn't slow the professionals down. The rain's coming, and look at, oh, drops the knee down across Billy McNeil. Sean Santel goes for a cover count of 1-2, but Billy kicks out. The rain continues to come down, and that's what made this so unique. I'm telling you, the race officials and the track officials said, well, what happens if it starts raining? We've been watching the weather. They had the National Weather Service on site with us there, and they knew that the rain was coming our way, but we wanted to get the matches in. And I said, well, the show must go on. We have great SICW fans here, and we made a lot of new ones with the race fans. And look at, you see the professionals just double teaming Billy McNeil. At this time, I left it up to referee Bill Henson. If he thought it got to be too dangerous in there, he could always stop the match. But I can tell you that's not something he was even considering, because he seen the fans were still standing around. They were sitting there on this side of the ring. Oh, a flying crossbody takes the professionals down. Billy needs to get over and get a tag. And as you see, some fans came prepared. They'd been listening to the weather forecast, but the one thing you'll find out about racing and wrestling fans, the weather is not going to deter them. Now, Joey Vanetti back and forth. Goes in, working on Santel, but McDarby from behind. Whoa, drop kick on McDarby. Now, McDarby out on the apron, and it's Vanetti and Sean Santel in the ring. He picks him up. Oh, flips him over. Shoves him into the corner, right into the midsection of McDarby, as the rain continues to come down and makes that mat a little slippery. Even our cameramen stood out there in the rain getting soaking wet. And I got to tell you, the track officials that was there, Chris Blair, Mike Buellhorn, even the owner, Mr. Francois, was there with us. They didn't go in. They didn't go to their offices. They stood out there and watched the wrestling. And there, McDarby makes the cover. 1, 2, and he gets a 3 count on Joe Vanetti. There you have it, fans. The winners of this match, the professionals.
Well, Herb, how about that? Pouring down rain, and they didn't miss a beat.
Oh, I'm telling you, and the fans didn't miss a beat. I mean, they didn't go anywhere. They stayed right there, and the guys in the ring, because that's what they do. They go out there, they want to get that win in the win column, and rain, sleet, or snow is going to stop them.
I tell you what, Herb, it was a great match. You just saw it there. Had to take about a 20-minute pause after that match, let the rain settle down a little bit, get the canvas dried off, and then we're going to get right back into some great SICW action. Before that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, hear from one of our great SICW sponsors, and we'll be right back with you. Wrestling fans, you looking for the best in daily lunch specials and great menu food items? Look no further than Layla's Roadhouse, 440 Falling Springs Road in Cahokia Heights, Illinois. That's right, a family sit-down dining and always great specials. Also has the best pizza in the area. Well, Herb, it's always great to have those sponsors here helping us. They help put events on, like Melee on the Midway and various things, and hopefully that partnership continues for a long time, because that's a great environment for wrestling.
It's great. It's great for everybody, for the fans, for the racing fans. It gives them something alternative in between the racing, and to be there and be a part of something that is so beneficial to the entire region. I think it's really great for SICW, and I'm really excited about that. So it's after 51 years of every place that we've been and the matches that we hold, they're all great. They're all special. I mean, we got a lot of other dates coming up in Waterloo, Illinois, at the Monroe County Fair. We're going to Breeze, Illinois, Fairmont City, Illinois. But, to say that you're tied in with this racing is just something else that's really great.
Absolutely. Well, Herb, speaking of the racing, let's take a trip back to another match out there at the Melee on the Midway. Once we returned from a little rain delay, we had Curtis Wild taking on Big Nasty Glenn Williams.
Well, and it was a wild time at the raceway, so let's take a look at that. Well, wrestling fans, as promised, we're still here at the Melee on the Midway, and there you see the wild ones, Curtis Wild and Chrissy Wild. The crowd really loved it. The Wild chant rang throughout the entire raceway. They knew that when the Wilds are in the area, it is going to be a wild time. And there you see Big Nasty. Look at that crowd. I mean, what a shot. Fans just kept coming and watching the Melee on the Midway. There you see Big Nasty Glenn Williams not getting the same round of applause that Curtis Wild did. In fact, he got the loudest of the boos. But right now, referee Nick Rednire says, come on, let's get ready. We're going to go to it. And once again, Curtis Wild gets up on the ropes, and the fans, it just droves and droves of them come to watch SICW at the Melee on the Midway at the big racetrack. And look at now, Big Glenn Williams climbing up again and thinking now the other side, you can see the fans. They just circled the ring. I mean, it was wild. It was a melee at the Worldwide Technology Raceway. And man, I'm telling you, they're still talking about it. It's just unbelievable, the response that they've been getting, not only here at SICW, but at the racetrack. You can see fans. It was up on the rooftops. Fans from the racetrack was watching down as Curtis Wild was preparing to take on Big Nasty Glenn Williams. And I'm telling you, Glenn Williams, another graduate of the Ace Wrestling Academy, headed up by WWE legend Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. The bell rings, and this one is on the way. And once again, the crowd just chanting, "Let's get wild, let's get wild." Of course, that's not what Big Nasty Glenn Williams was wanting to hear. And now, both men lock up in the center of that squared circle. And a nice hip toss by Curtis Wild. And there, of course, on the outside, down on the lower part of your screen, the Canadian Zero, Sean Vincent, the man who took Big Nasty Glenn Williams underneath his wings, per se, and it says he's going to take him to stardom. But right now, Sean Vincent is out with an injury, but he has his second license, and now he's made himself the proclaimed manager of Big Nasty Glenn Williams. So he's at ringside, and as both hook up, another hip toss on Glenn Williams. Williams complains to referee Nick Rednire. He pulled my hair. Yeah, okay. I don't know how that happens unless he's talking about the... No, he's signaling pulled his hair, but he doesn't have any unless he's complaining his beard that he has. But that's not going to fly with senior referee Mr. Rednire. And now Williams is trying to get the crowd behind him, but you see some of the fans giving him the thumbs down, and they're hollering at him, they're booing him. And of course, when Curtis comes over, they know it's let's get wild time. Fans of all ages showed up to watch SICW and NASCAR team up to bring them the best weekend ever. Arm drag by Curtis on Big Nasty. And I got to believe right now, Sean Vincent is saying, wait a minute, did my guy bite off more than he can chew with Curtis Wilde? Another takedown. Curtis now begins to work on that left arm of Glenn Williams. Chrissy Wilde on the outside, cheering on her man, as she does so well. I'll tell you, ever since we've seen the new Curtis Wilde and Chrissy Wilde, as you remember, a couple of years ago, they were the ones that were getting booed every time they came out, and they saw the light and said, nope, we want those fans cheering for us, and they made amends. And now when they come out, you know they are in the building or on the melee here in this case. Like I said, look at fans of all ages, young and old, standing out there watching SICW. For those of you fans who follow us, know that the representatives from the racetrack attended a few of our shows at Belleville, and said that they liked what they saw, and they even made the announcements. They made special ticket arrangements. If you bought the tickets at one of the SICW events, you got a pretty good deal on them. And speaking of that, I'm sure next Sunday night, if you join us, we'll have more information about the possible return of us going back to the racetrack later on this year. There you're watching Curtis put the boots to Glenn Williams, and he rolls outside the ring, and I bet he's looking for Mr. Vincent. As you see, Sean comes over, give him a little advice, saying, hey, go back in there. Just don't let him beat you up anymore. Now, Curtis says, wait a minute. You want to go outside? Guess what? I'll join you. Wow, right in front of that capacity crowd. Hundreds of fans standing around watching Curtis work on Big Nasty Glenn Williams from one side of that ring to the other. Tosses him into the ring barrier. A big chop. Referee counting on both men to get back in the ring, and Curtis says, let me help you in. Curtis climbs in. Glenn Williams in the corner. Curtis throws him in the other one, but nobody's at home, and Curtis found the well empty, and now it's Glenn Williams. Big punches to the midsection, to the head. Now the big boots to the midsection. That'll wear you down. Now he looks for the audience. Oh, but there on the outside, Sean Vincent using that cane as a weapon into the midsection. And now Williams drapes them arms over that middle rope, and look at that. Pulling him back. Referee telling him, let him go. Get him off of the ropes. Fans, and don't forget, you heard us talk about it earlier, Saturday, July the 6th, we make our debut at the Collinsville Firemen's Bingo Hall, 9510 Collinsville Road in Collinsville, Illinois. That will be our home for the next approximately 3 months as the historical Belle Claire Fairgrounds undergo some renovation. We're really looking forward to that. We are thankful for the Collinsville Firemen's Bingo Hall, the fine folks there accommodating us for the next several months. So join us there. You heard us talk about it earlier. Not only will we be there with a big show, but that night a lucky winner will win 2 free airline tickets and hotel and a banquet tickets for the annual reunion of the Cauliflower Alley Club that we go out. A lot of the SICW representatives will be there. That's in August, so this is your one shot. July the 6th, you come, you'll get a ticket, and that night the drawing will be made. We have 2 anonymous contributors, great supporters of SICW, that are saying, hey, we want to send a couple of people out and support the Cauliflower Alley Club. And not only that, you'll get a membership for a year to the Cauliflower Alley Club. You have to be a member in order to get the banquet ticket. So it's a great package, and all you got to do is come to the SICW show on Saturday night, July the 6th at the Fireman's Hall in Collinsville, Illinois. And that night we'll see who the lucky winner is. And there you see Big Nasty Glenn Williams trying to get a 3 count on Curtis Wild. Now he clamps it on. He's got that could be a sleeper he's got on him. He's putting the pressure on him. And you see Curtis, referee Nick Rednire will keep an eye on him, make sure 2 things. One, it doesn't slip it down to a chokehold, or that Curtis doesn't want to give up before he passes out. But no, Curtis now with that chin buster. And it was just amazing to see the amount of fans that showed up and just stood there. Fans who come up, some of them said, I'd never been to a wrestling show before. Man, where can we see the next one at? And of course, we told them, Saturday night, July 6th in Collinsville, Illinois. And then we had fans come up and said, oh, I used to go with my grandfather down to the Kiel Auditorium, or we used to watch it every Saturday, wrestling at the Chase, and brought back great memories. And that's what we're doing here at SICW. We're all about keeping those memories alive. And you're seeing it right here. Whoa! Now Curtis gets out of the way, and now he winds up with them right hands. The referee's telling him, come on, open them fists. Big elbow delivered to the head of Glenn Williams, and that finds him in the center of the ring. Now gets a hold of that bottom rope. Curtis waiting for him. Oh, spears him, takes him down. Referee checking on Glenn Williams. Curtis getting to his feet. I think right about now, Glenn's wanting to know, hey, where's Sean Vincent at? I need some help. But now he's wanting help from the referee. Now, whoa, wait a minute. Sean Vincent, he slid the cane into Curtis Wild, I thought, or he was trying to get it to Glenn, but Curtis ends up using it, and the referee looks like he's disqualified Glenn Williams with Curtis using that cane. Man, that backfired on Curtis Wild, I'll tell you. Glenn Williams is going to get the win in this one. May not be the right way, but that's how to go down in the record books. Fan, don't go away. We got a lot more coming your way from the Melee on the Midway.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your winner by disqualification,
Well, fans, you just saw it. Maybe not the way we wanted to end, but, you know, you have Sean Vincent trying to throw that cane in there to help Glenn Williams, and instead Curtis Wild picked it up and gave Glenn Williams a little knot on the head.
Well, anytime Sean Vincent, the Canadian Zero, as I call him, is at ringside, you know, he's got that injury, but he's got his manager's license. And now he's just going to be a thorn on our side, I got a feeling. Of course, Big Nasty Glenn Williams has got his sights set on being the number one anywhere. And I don't think there's anything he's not going to do to try to get a win.
Yeah. Speaking of doing whatever it takes to get a win, we're going to take a look at another match here where Devastation Incorporated, escorted out by Stephen E. and Lilith Khan, were there taking on Gary Jackson and the Big Texan. But you had a little trick up your sleeve, and if Devastation Incorporated has people at ringside, you felt the need to have somebody at ringside for good old Team USA.
Well, you know, anytime you have somebody like Stephen E., who for those of you who follow us know that he has one thing in mind, and that he wants to take over SICW. He has now for over the last year. He's made proposals, he's made threats, and it's actually escalated now to where he is really pulling some shady stuff. And you'll see right here, there's nothing that he won't do to get a win. But you're right, I wanted to equal that side up. So WWE legend Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. Was at ringside. So take a look and see how this turned out. Well, fans, we're back, and this is the big one. This is one, as you can see right there at the bottom of the screen with the hat on, the ace himself, Cowboy Bob Orton Jr., the WWE legend. Involved at this one, Stephen E. of Devastation Incorporated on the opposite side of the ring. The man who wants to own SICW says he's going to take it to new heights. Wanted to have this match. It started earlier in the day, but there you see Peyton Ayers working on the gorgeous one, Gary Jackson, outside the big chair. Now you see Attila Khan using that chair on the Big Texan. Oh, a second time he hits him with that chair. And the referee inside trying to keep Jackson and Peyton Ayers under control. Oh, big shoulder tackle. But this match was the Night Train, Gary Jackson and the Big Texan, the SICW Classic Champion and the I-9 Shriners Champion. There you see the crowd, and you see Cowboy Bob Orton, the Texan, and Gary Jackson against Peyton Ayers and Attila Khan of Devastation Incorporated. And outside in the black get-up, the newest member of Devastation Incorporated. All it does is walk around and follows Stephen E. Peyton Ayers, what a monster he is, and what a monster Attila Khan is. Working on the Night Train, Gary Jackson flips him out of that corner. When this match earlier in the day had broke down and it got made when Stephen E. wanted this match, I said, sure, no problem, but the ace, Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. himself, will be in the corner of Gary Jackson and the Big Texan there, Gary with a crossbody on Attila Khan. And there you see Gary Jackson and Attila Khan. And now Big Texan threatening to come in, but Khan pushes Jackson back into the corner. Bob Orton telling the referee, hey, get him off of Gary. And he does, he makes the tag, but oh, continues now. He's sliding something up in that, looks like that elbow pad. Stephen E., I tell you, he was doing nothing but adjusting it. Big uppercut by Jackson on Peyton Ayers. Brings him over into the corner. And now the tag is made, and in comes the champion. The big Texan. Shoulder to the midsection a second time. A third time. Working big slap right across the chest. And that echoed all the way down the midway here at the Melee on the Midway at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Oh, that big forearm to the back. Now picks him up and drops him hard. There is nothing but big, mean, raw men in this match, I can tell you. The big Texan, that's why he's the champion. Not only the classic champion, but he is the I-9 Shriners champion that he won last year. And he defends that. And he'll be defending that belt if he still holds on to it later this year when we return to the Shriners Temple in East St. Louis, Illinois in October. Big plans being made for that venue already as we go to there, plus Fairmont City, Illinois, to Breeze, Illinois, to Waterloo, Illinois. And later on, hopefully next Sunday night, we'll tell you about when we're going to be returning to the Raceway. Oh, Telecan comes in and breaks that up. Gary Jackson that went for the pin. Stephen E. to the right of your screen there, giving instructions to his men of Devastation Incorporated. Oh, Peyton Ayers rakes the back of Gary Jackson. Brings him out of one corner, takes him over to the other one. They're trying to keep him isolated there in the corner. Referee Bill Henson starts the count. Tag is made, and in comes a former classic champion, Attila Khan. Now drapes Jackson over that middle rope and just choking him with it. And you can see Stephen E. just loves the pain that is being inflicted upon Gary Jackson. Look at him, just cheering him on, telling him what to do. Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. there at ringside. If I was Stephen E., I'd watch where I'm at and watch what I'm doing, because for those of you wrestling fans, Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. was in the first WrestleMania. Traveled up and down the road many times with the rowdy one, Roddy Piper. Now, Jackson trying to pick up Attila Khan, but Khan stops him. Now, he reverses that, and now it's Khan just, one hand up in the air, and a big body slam on Jackson. Khan drops that knee across the upper chest, goes for the cover, kind of 1, 2, but he kicks out. I mean, when you talk about the big men, they come to SICW. They know where the history, they know where the legacy of professional wrestling is. It started on television in 1959 under the late great promoter Sam Muchnick. And the voice of St. Louis wrestling later on, my good friend Larry Matisek. Before him, George Abel. And it was great. Each and every show they had from 1959 to 1983. And there, Attila Khan. He's got that fork everybody claims he has, or it's whatever it is, a stick, gouging Jackson in the side of the head, the side of the face. Now he takes him over, tags with Peyton Ayers. Double teaming Jackson again. The referee telling him, let the man out of the corner. And Peyton pulls him out. Front face lock. Looks like he's setting him up for that suplex. There it is. Jackson is in need of a tag as Peyton rolls over. Count of 1, 2. He hooked the leg, but Jackson, you can't count him out. The man is truly a veteran. He knows that you have to reach down inside, and it's all or nothing in this game. And now the crowd chanting Gary, Gary. He's trying to get to his feet. And he takes Peyton Ayers over. But Ayers comes back with that double fist. And now what's he doing? He looks like he took that tape. What did he do? I'm not sure. Tosses him into the corner. Now goes in and just tags, but he holds on, trying to choke him, trying to choke the life out of Gary Jackson. Referee, I hate to say it, but Bill Henson needs to get more aggressive here and get them guys out of there. I mean, I know they've got a count of 5 to break a hold, and I kind of don't blame him. I mean, these are 2 big, rough guys, but, you know, they don't want to listen and disqualify him. He goes in for the cover, 1-2, another 2 count, and Jackson kicks out. And again, Stephen E. just hollering in, hit banging on the ring apron. Come on, but now Texan said, hey, I've had enough of this. You're letting them come in and do all this. I'm not going to take it. Once again, Attila Khan thrust into the throat. Now Jackson back and forth, and now he picks him up. Jackson, oh, but he can't hold him up. He can't hold him. 1, 2, and Jackson kicks out. Now, Attila Khan continues to work on the gorge. Oh, big headbutt. And what's he going to do now? He's got him in the ring, in the center of the ring, and now he's climbing up. It looks like on that bottom up. No, the second rope. Attila Khan goes up. He's going to do that devastating diving headbutt. And here he comes. But, oh, Jackson gets out of the way. Nobody home. Gary Jackson rolled out of the way. He needs to crawl over now and get a tag. Attila Khan reaches in. He tags Peyton Ayers, and now Texan is tagged in, and it's to 2 big men. Texan delivering those big forearms. Picks up, big suplex by Texan. And now Gary Jackson goes over him and Attila Khan on the outside. And now you see the Texan winding up that arm, that devastating lariat. He's wanting it. He's wanting to give it. Peyton Ayers getting up slow. He comes into the ring, and oh, there it is. The big Texan delivers that big lariat. A 1, 2, 3. There you have it. A 3 count. Cowboy Bob Orton at ringside. The crowd cheering on. I'm not sure what happened there. Wait a minute. Texan tied. He done put the cowbell and the rope, tied up the legs of Peyton Ayers. I'm not sure what happened to Stephen E. Our camera was focused on the action on the inside, and I don't know if he tripped over there or what happened. There you see the belt being handed into the ring, and the referee declaring the winners, the Big Texan and Gary Jackson, with none other than WWE legend Cowboy Bob Orton Jr. There you see Bob Orton holding their hands up. As you see, there's Stephen E. He comes somewhere. I don't know if he was hiding underneath the ring or what happened. But there you see.
Well, Herb, even without that cast on his arm, Cowboy Bob Orton was still able to deliver a devastating blow to Stephen E. That had to feel good. I know the fans loved it.
I loved every bit of it. Believe me, gave Bob a little bonus for that.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. Well, it was a great time out there at Melee on the Midway. The fans that couldn't join us actually got lucky. They got to see it all over the last couple weeks. It was some great times out there. We're going to take another quick commercial break here from some of our sponsors, and we're going to come back and talk about how SICW is keeping that old school wrestling tradition alive. Wrestling fans, there's nothing better than barbecue and wrestling. When you're hungry, stop by Mr. Barbecue with 2 locations to serve you in Columbia and Waterloo, Illinois. Great barbecue, cold beverages, and SICW wrestling. Fans, we're back, and as we do most weeks, we take a little trip back in history. And Herb, I know this is one of your favorite times when we get to go back and look at some of these great legends and hear your old friend Larry Mattisek calling the action.
Well, you know, when you talk about the dean of professional wrestling and you hear that term, throw it around real loosely, and every territory, and there were, to me, every one of them were deans of professional wrestling when it comes to announcing, you know, the Gordon Solis of the world and the Jim Ross, who is just now going to be honored out at the Cauliflower Alley Club this year. You know, it's things like that. But here in St. Louis, the voice of St. Louis wrestling was Larry Mattisek, and for all those years. And it's always great to be able to bring you one of those classics from the library to trigger those memories of what Grandma and Grandpa and our parents had. And that's what's keeping SICW really active in the region. We know we have that library, and we want to share it with you to trigger those memories. So I know you've picked a good one out this week.
Let's take a look and see if the fans agree.
The second main event, a one fall with a 5-minute time limit. Introducing from Winnipeg, Canada, weighing 244 pounds, Kerry Brown. And from Portland, Oregon, weighing 266 pounds, Missouri State Champion Ken Patera.
Powerhouse Ken Patera, the Missouri State Champion and possibly the strongest man in the world, squares off with Kerry Brown, the second main event on Wrestling at the Chase today. And here's some information about next week's edition of Wrestling at the Chase, a mixed tag match. A mixed tag match will be one of the highlights, man and woman versus man and woman. A mixed tag match next weekend on Wrestling at the Chase. Don't miss that. Patera, the first man ever to press and also to clean and jerk more than 500 pounds. The holder of so many national and international records that it's almost impossible to recount them. And Ken Patera tells referee Chuck Riley, "You've got to learn to get out of my way," as he shoved the 240-pound Kerry Brown right to the corner. Side headlock by Kerry Brown on Ken Patera, the man who could well be the next world heavyweight champion. I cannot think of 2 more serious, 2 more dedicated, and 2 more determined athletes than Ken Patera and the world champion Harley Race. Neither one will give a single inch, a portion of an inch. So when they clash with wrestling's biggest prize on the line, Ken Patera flexing those massive muscles after lifting Kerry Brown onto the turnbuckle. Can you imagine what it will be like when that man, Ken Patera, maybe the strongest man in the world, squares off with Harley Race, who said you have to cripple him to take the championship from him? Well, right there is a man, Ken Patera, who can cripple anyone. Anyone in the world. Patera has the wherewithal, has the power, has the knowledge, has the ability to cripple them. Patera pounds on Kerry Brown, yanks him over the top with a chancery, gets a count of 1 on Kerry Brown. Remember that Patera won that Missouri State title from Kevin Von Erich and then beat Kevin Von Erich in a rematch. And that says a lot right there about Patera's tremendous amount of skill. Patera with a front face lock on Kerry Brown. Is it a strangle? Chuck Riley checks. Now it's a strangle. As soon as Riley pulled that hand away, Patera went right for the windpipe. A kick to the head from Ken Patera. Patera bangs away on Kerry Brown. Pops an elbow into the face of Kerry Brown. Patera walks across the face of Brown. "Show me what you got, boy," yells Ken Patera to Kerry Brown, and bounces a forearm into the cheekbone and then into the jaw. Kerry Brown twists the arm of the Missouri State champion. Patera flung to the mat. Leg drop to the shoulder of Patera by Kerry Brown. Patera goes to the corner.
2 minutes left, 2 minutes.
Kerry Brown twists Patera's arm, trying to pull him out of the corner. Kerry bending that arm forward. Ken Patera. The pressure's really on him because of the opportunity he has at his command. Patera uses knee lifts to get loose from that armbar arm twist combination by Kerry Brown. Patera lifts Kerry. Look at that. High overhead. Face down and pitches him halfway across the ring. To call that a body slam is an understatement. He threw Kerry Brown, 240 pounds, clear across the ring. At 2, Kerry Brown kicks off Patera. He better check his vertebrae after that slam. Patera hoists Brown once more, backbreaker. The backbreaker by Missouri State champion Ken Patera once more. Kerry Brown battles away from a potential pin.
1 minute left, 1 minute.
Ken Patera clotheslining Kerry Brown as he came off the ropes. That's like getting hit by a 2x4. There's the full Nelson. There's the swinging neck breaker. The swinging neck breaker by Patera. Kerry Brown forced forward. He's risking serious neck injury right here. A lot of men have gone directly to emergency rooms after being trapped in that swinging neck breaker, and Kerry Brown has to give up. The match is over, and Patera finally releases the swinging neck breaker. Kerry Brown in severe pain, rolling around the mat as Ken Patera, the Missouri State champion, has his arm raised in victory. Here's Mickey.
In 4 minutes and 23 seconds, a swinging neck breaker. The winner, Missouri State champion Ken Patera.
Well, Herb, another great classic. And as we're running out of time tonight, we still have a little bit we need to talk about. Saturday, July 6th. SICW returns, but in a different venue. The Madison County Firemen's Hall up in Collinsville, Illinois.
Yes, the big bingo hall there. Real easy to get to right off Interstate 255 and Collinsville Road. This is a temporary relocation. The Belle Claire Fairgrounds is going through some renovation, and so we're going to be away from there for about 3 months. But the fine people at the Collinsville Firemen's Bingo Hall have agreed to help us. So July 6th, you're right. And I'm telling you, not only you're going to see the SICW wrestling, but you can possibly be the winner of 2 free tickets to the annual Cauliflower Alley Club reunion that will be held the following month in August. 2 free airfare tickets out there, hotel rooms, banquet tickets to the Cauliflower Alley banquet, and plus you're going to get to become a member of the Cauliflower Alley Club, one of the most distinguished organizations out there that help the men and women in our business, and we're really excited about that. So all you got to come to the show that night. You'll sign up, get a ticket there. The drawing will be there that night before the night is over, and you'll know if you're that lucky winner before you leave there that night.
What a great opportunity. And speaking of great opportunities, later on in the month, July 18th through 20th, you're going to take a little trip up to Waterloo, Iowa.
Waterloo, Iowa. My good friend Troy Peterson and Jerry Briscoe, they run a fabulous, the Tragus Hall of Fame up there. It's a great time. They've got a great lineup of legends that's going to be there. I'll be taking Cowboy Bob Orton up there along with Tito Santana. But they've got a list of all kinds of people. You can go to their website.
You can see it on the screen here right now.
Yeah, great. We'll put it up on the screen, and you can have that. Make sure you try to make the trip to Waterloo, Iowa, and SICW will be represented there, as we always are. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of good friends in the Waterloo, Des Moines, Iowa area that always show up there. I'm really looking forward to that.
It's going to be a great time. Fans, thank you for joining us here each and every Sunday night as we bring you the latest and greatest in SICW professional wrestling. We will be back with you again next Sunday night at 8 p.m., and then we'll be joining you live at the Madison County Firemen's Hall on Collinsville Road on Saturday, July 6th. Call 618-286-4848 to reserve your seats because it's destined to be a packed house. Thank you for joining us.
Good night.